Hello, everybody, and welcome to Chalk Talk. This is the week of the conference championships. We just had probably the most entertaining week of football that I could even imagine, like in the past. Possibly ever. Like
ever.
Every single game came down to a field goal in regulation as time expired, and then of course in that Chiefs-Bills game, we had that crazy game. Like, I mean, that game will go down in history. And
greatest ever.
Mahomes, the future GOAT, came out on top. So we'll go over our records really quick. Nick didn't join us last week.
COVID protocols. Close contact, didn't have it.
He couldn't come on the show after his previous record the week before. But
had to take a timeout. Yeah.
So
win one bet, he thinks he's the man.
The recap from last week, we had Alex and Corey sat in 2-2. Corey hit his lock with the Rams. Then Chris, he went 1-3, didn't hit the lock. And then I went 3-1 and hit the Chiefs with the lock. So
barely.
But I actually didn't. The only one I bet was the Chiefs money line, because I said my favorite bet of the week was that teaser. The Rams ended up coming down to 2.5, and you can get that. It was the Rams. Bills in the teaser, and then that
there.
Yeah, that one panned out. So next we'll go through, I guess. I mean, it's obviously short. We have 2 games, so we can just kind of really talk about them a little more in depth, get all of our thoughts out there. So I guess we'll start out. We have the Bengals, top 4 team in the league after being had the number 1 draft pick just 2 years ago. Absolutely incredible what they've done. Some of us.
Wait. Can you please not classify them as a top 4 team?
Oh, they are. They're in the conference championship in the AFC. What would you classify that as?
They gotten this far in the playoffs. Okay. I would not classify them as a top 4 team.
Beat the number 1 seed in the AFC. They've been on the road. Them and the 49ers have been extremely impressive what they've done going on the road for their first one. I guess the Bengals were at home, but the 49ers going on the road. They beat the Rams in the last game of the season. Then they go into Dallas. They beat Dallas, and then they go into Lambeau. Like, they are on an absolute roll. But the first game up is the Bengals at Chiefs. We have the line opening at -7. The look-ahead line actually was around, I think, 5.5, or I think it was like around 6. But I think
it was 6.5.
Yeah, so it did move to that key number. I think after everyone saw that Mahomes performance, they had to put a little bit more respect on that. So they moved to -7. We have an over-under of 54.5, so actually fairly close to what that Bills-Chiefs line was at. I think it's just because although you don't have like Josh Allen, you probably have a little bit worse of a defense in the Bengals, so it can offset.
When we saw this matchup a couple weeks ago in the regular season, I think they put up like 66 points.
Yeah, it was super high score. It was a shootout. Yeah.
It's like 34-31, I think.
Yeah, the Chiefs had a lead in the early on, and then Joey B just came back, and that was Jamar Chase's like 200,000 yard game and 3 touchdowns.
200,000 yards.
Yeah, he set the record.
Wow. He's good. Yeah, he's rookie of the year if you didn't know.
Yeah.
200,000 yards.
He will be rookie of the year. So, but yeah, what?
We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much a lock for him to win that. But we'll go ahead and start out. We have the Chiefs -7. Who wants to go first? Start off conference championship week.
I'll open it up here.
Okay.
The fact that the Bengals are even here is a miracle. How does a team win when your quarterback gets sacked 9 times?
Because you have an incredible offense.
Incredible offense.
They didn't show that last week, obviously, but they also
or the week before.
Defense.
or the week before, they're not scoring points. Like they're not.
I've been saying you underestimated their defense the entire year since the beginning. They've had a good defense.
So we're saying the Titans have an elite offense.
What?
The
No,
Titans
we're just saying the Bengals have a good defense. They held in the playoffs. They held the Titans and the Raiders to very low amount of points.
Okay.
I think they've had the easiest road by far. Let's keep that in mind.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah. Okay. But what I'm saying is the whole issue with the Bengals is can they win games and keeping, Joey B upright? And they should not have won that game last week. Tannehill threw that game away with that pass that you should.
Yeah, but that would have just gone to overtime. Like, we don't know what will happen in overtime. The Bengals still could have won.
I understand, but I'm saying like they were given a freaking basket of gifts and just hand it to him. Like, here's the ball.
Joe Burrow
40 seconds
also
to
had
go.
200 and like something yards passing at halftime. The Titans defense is terrible. We've discussed that.
I totally agree with you there, but I'm saying is most teams that give up 9 sacks do not win a game. And I would love to see the stat on, if a team gives up that many sacks, how many times they come out on top. Not very often.
Yeah. But like, what do we think of the pass rush attack of the Chiefs? Like,
It's
is it going to
good.
be that much of a threat?
It is good. The pass rush, they do have a pass rush.
Yeah.
If
Just
Jones in the
asking.
middle,
I wasn't pushing either way there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Chris
but
Jones is a beast.
I would say their pass rush is better than the Titans pass rush.
yeah. So with that being said,
So
and-
10 sacks potentially on the table.
Potentially.
yeah, and then I still worry about the coaching matchup here. This is like,
The coach of the year
Cream of the
is Andy Reid.
okay. Zach Taylor is not a good coach.
He's probably I guarantee he's got to be the favorite to win coach of the year. I'll just
In
check.
the regular
You
season?
talking? I'll check.
It doesn't
Yeah,
include playoffs, does
It
it?
doesn't include playoffs.
It doesn't. And even in the regular season, you're talking about a team that just had the number 1 draft pick just recently, and they just made the playoffs. Like in that division with the Ravens, the Steelers, and the Browns. Like, come
You
on.
could make an argument for any of the top couple of guys in there. I mean, Vrabel had 90 guys get injured over the course of the year and got the 1 seed. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they might have taken the some of
the
these,
voting's
and-
probably over by now
Yeah.
because it's regular
Um,
season. I mean, he's
yeah.
definitely in the talk for it, but in terms of like actual coaching matchup and playoff experience and stuff, Corey, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, this is cream of the crop versus, hey, I'm just happy to be here at this point in time. Zach Taylor's
Handing
not a
out
good
game
coach.
balls
and
in
so-
Cincinnati bars.
Yeah.
Basically, the 3 that it comes down to is Matt LaFleur, Zach Taylor, and Mike Vrabel.
Okay, I give it to LaFleur or Vrabel over.
Well, in
Yeah.
order of odds, it's Vrabel, Taylor, then LaFleur. So we're talking about a top 2 candidate for coach of the year, but go ahead.
Okay,
My personal
congrats.
favorite is Peter LaFleur of Globo Gym.
Congrats. He's had one good season with the Bengals. He's been treading water ever since they drafted Joey B. And this is the first year. Yes, Joey B got hurt last year, but that's partially his fault and the GM's fault for not protecting him. And again, this year they
Really, what was it their fault for drafting Jamar Chase this year?
I mean, I'm just saying in terms of like
I
bringing
kind of
in,
like it.
Come
bringing,
on.
bringing in players to protect your number 1 asset. Like it's we
So
saw
if
Zach-
you're saying it was a mistake, you're essentially
Yeah.
saying it was a mistake to draft Jamar Chase this year.
I'm saying that they could have.
That's what you're saying.
I think he's saying that Andy Reid is a better coach.
I'll say he's a better coach.
and a
but-
much more experienced coach.
Yeah.
But
in the
him saying
playoffs.
that they made mistakes, how they draft, and it's partially his fault. Drafting Jamar Chase was the best decision the Bengals made in that number 1 pick. I don't.
Okay, maybe. Okay, well, what happened if if you could play these games of what if and what like? Yes, he's been good this year. He's
It's been
good.
incredible. What do you just?
Okay, that's fine. But what I'm saying is, when it comes down to it, you protect your number 1 asset.
And they'll
That's
do
what
that
you
in
do.
drafts to come, but you don't pass up a Jamar Chase. He's a generational talent, and that's
Okay.
proven.
Well, I'm taking Chiefs -7. Bengals fucking suck. Get them out of here. They're overrated. They're so overrated. And I'm sick and tired of hype boys like you, PB.
hype.
no.
I've been on them before the season
You're-
started, so
you're
don't
a
tell me
hype
I'm a
boy.
hype boy just
You're a
buying
hype
into
boy.
it as it's been going
You're
on.
a hype boy.
I bought into them when
Now
they
we
were
have to see
coming
what you have
off
to
a
pick, Bengals or
losing
Chiefs.
season, back-to-back losing seasons.
I'm done. Hype boy.
EB is a little fired up. Just a little note for the audience today. He found out that the Saints have lost their head coach to retirement, and in his place, the number one front runner in Vegas right now is Josh McCown.
Yeah, no, it's
He's going to the Texans.
He's probably going to like the Texans or the
He's going to the
Jags.
Texans.
What's Kevin James? What's his?
His odds.
Yeah, what's his odds?
Is
Up
he
there?
available?
Hey, if Sean Payton's in a microphone in his ear, I'll take Kevin James.
I think he's got to. I think he's got Roadhogs 3 to film actually. So.
Oh man, no, I'm fired up because we're talking. You're trying to roast the Bengals, and it
Yeah.
sucks because of the side I think I'm going to be on this week. But Chris,
What
you-
side is
Can't
that?
pick against hype boy teams.
What?
Well, what
Hype
side
boys
is that?
can't pick against their hype boy teams.
Mhm.
Yeah, because I've been on the Chiefs. I've said they're going to win the Super Bowl all year, so you can when you say that.
Right.
But I get since I was on arguing with Corey, I'm not. So as much as shit, it makes me just want to switch my pick right now for the show, even though coming into the show, my
Right.
pick is Chiefs -7. But I think I just have to stick and not get into my emotions too much. But the Bengals are still a fantastic team. It's just not their year this year. They will need to improve that offensive line, which they will in drafts to come, and they will be an elite competitor for a very long time in the AFC. But this particular year, it's already impressive. It's incredible what they've done this year, but I think their road ends right here. The Chiefs, it's a terrible spot for the Bengals. They just recently played the Chiefs. I know they beat them, but now they have to go into Arrowhead. And that Chiefs offense is just on a whole different level right now. And I do think they have, I do think they have a very good pass rush. And the Chiefs are they're built to win the Super Bowl, and they're going to do it. And they're probably going to beat the Bengals by more than a touchdown here. So I would love to see it. Even though I have the Chiefs winning it all, I'd love to see the Bengals pull off the upset, but I just don't think it happens here. And I think the Chiefs get the job done and cover the spread once again.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I like the head coaching matchup, like Corey was saying. I think Andy Reid versus Zach Taylor here. Got to give it to Andy Reid. Home field advantage. So, like, even if these teams are completely even, I think the edge goes to the Chiefs here. However, 7 points. Gonna ride with the Bengals, baby. Let's go, Ohio.
Who dey?
I think it'll be a close game. I think offensive line's obviously going to be an issue, but see what Joey B could do. I mean, maybe this is his moment of greatness. You kind of need one of these breakout scenarios to, achieve that Mahomes type of level. So I think Joey B could do it. Good Ohio kid. I'm going to ride with the hometown boy.
I agree
like
with
it.
you, Nick.
I'd love to be on your side, but I just can't.
Too many points. I think this is a field goal game. I think big time Joey B is up to the challenge. I mean, we saw how well they played them in the regular season. And that was when the Chiefs were starting to click towards the end of the year. Granted, they're coming off of probably the greatest game I know I've ever watched of all time, any sport, in that Bills Chiefs game. I was telling you guys before we
This is my
started
second
recording.
favorite.
Yeah, before we started recording, I was home alone with the dog, just literally yelling at the TV, like, "No way,
was nutty.
no way!" Just like could not believe what I was seeing.
Mhm.
So
I hadn't been that excited since the Minneapolis Miracle.
that was.
Oh yeah, I'm
that was a
sure
wild
That
that's
was a
sure
good
you loved
one.
that one.
That was a wild
You
one.
know what? That might be one of my top 3 too, Nick.
It's definitely up there.
Y'all are so fucking petty. Y'all
I'm
are
trying to
so
think of an
petty.
important Browns game, but I just nothing comes to mind.
Yeah.
Crickets.
Well, I mean, the Bengals are
Nothing comes
doing
to mind.
what the Browns thought the Browns were going to be doing 4 years
Yeah.
ago. So
they got the orange helmets. I'm
Look,
still
it's like
cheering for the
you
orange
could
helmet.
basically equivalent, like this is like the team that the Browns were like aspiring to be as the Bengals, and they
Right.
just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
it's kind of a stroke of luck. Like, who had, what year do you have the first round pick? You just never know.
Yeah. Well, the Bengals.
I'm just
have
glad
done
we
it.
didn't get Josh Rosen. Okay. Let's be honest. We
Your
dodged a bullet there.
alternative. I mean, it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Go
Too many
ahead,
points
Chris.
though. Bengals +7.
Yeah, so obviously as a Browns fan, I'm rooting for the Bengals here. I just think it's good for Ohio football, seeing the Bengals go far here. But I did pick the Chiefs as my Super Bowl winner, and I am going to stick with them. However, I am hoping for a little bit of a shootout here. Maybe it's not going to be what that Bills Chiefs game was, but I do have faith in the offense of the Bengals, and I do think they're going to keep this one close. I do agree. I think it's going to be a field goal game. So I'm going to go with the Bengals at +7 as well.
Let's go, Chris.
Like I
Me
said,
and
it's
you.
good for Ohio football.
It's
Yeah.
it's
And that
honestly
may be
like shocking to
say
me.
don't make emotional decisions or decisions based on emotion, but here we are.
Here we are.
Well, I'm just like I was actually expecting coming into this game. I was like thinking almost everyone was going to take the Chiefs, but I was hyping up the Bengals, and I can't see it in this spot. But I was on them when the spread was like 3.5 when the Bengals were at home, but I just this spot's different, and
Great moments are born from great opportunities.
I would love to see it. I would absolutely love to see it. Then I won't have to hear they're frauds. They shouldn't be here. Look what they beat. Blah, 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 Zach Taylor. Blah. They would have beaten Patrick Mahomes in the AFC Conference Championship to go to the Super Bowl, and then I won't hear another bit of shit.
No, you're going to hear all of it. Trust me.
Okay. Well, we'll see.
You can shove down your throat.
All right. So next game we have the 49ers. Absolutely incredible run they've had. They're kind of like the Bengals, I'd say, of the NFC. You know, they started out the season 1-5.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like
Yeah,
that.
they were- I think
1-5
they
or
were-
2-5.
Yeah, like they were very close to just being like cashing out for the season. That's it. They just go on a roll, and now they're here. You know, they've made the NFC Conference Championship. They would not even be in the playoffs if the Rams could have just beat them in Week 17. But Matthew Stafford choked, typical of him. And I know he's won a couple playoff games, but here we are in the Conference Championship. You know, the 49ers have just had the Rams number. I don't think the Rams have beat the 49ers since like 2018 or 2019. I believe.
7-0.
What? Yeah, 7-0
7-0.
7-0 against the Rams. Just they can't get it done against them. It's their kryptonite. So somehow the 49ers are 3.5-point dogs again. They're not putting enough respect on them. It seemed like there were some injuries at the end of that game with Kittle, Debo, and Trent
Yeah,
Williams.
like was
but
that just the cold, or like are these
So,
guys actually?
they look to be
hurt?
their practice.
So
Yeah.
they're all gonna play. Debo took a helmet off the knee
Yeah.
during one of those late game runs, and then Trent Williams, they did like a scope or something on his ankle, and I guess he's gonna play, but there's some like previous issues that
Scar
I guess
tissue
weren't like
discovered.
yeah, there's something there from the past that is not fully healed yet, so it could be something big career wise, but
Luckily, they're in a dome.
yeah, and the thought is that all three of those guys are playing. I think Kittle's totally fine.
Yeah, I think Kittle's the most healthy for sure. Which
I have an important question on this one. Who has the home field advantage here?
Rams.
I
you
think
see-
I know they're at home, but
So-
like
I think
so
it's
in-
neutral. I think it's pretty neutral.
The Niners, dude, the
They had
Rams.
a
I mean, what do they got to drive 2 hours? Like
SoFi was doing
Yeah.
geo blocking on tickets for ticket purchases in San Francisco.
They knew
'Cause
the
when
49ers were going to just flood that stadium.
yeah.
And
good
they
thing they got
prevented it a
those
little bit,
Silicon
but
Valley
not enough.
nerds back. They really
Yeah.
got them with the geo fence.
Well, when they when they
It'll
played in
be
the regular
neutral.
season, the Rams had to go to a silent count because the Niners fans are so loud.
Yeah,
Crazy.
Yeah, I
insane.
don't think that happens again though.
I do.
I would hope
Well,
Well,
not.
I don't think it. I think it's neutral. I don't think there's a advantage one way or the other in this game. I don't think it'll get loud enough for anything to matter. So they're somehow 3.5-point favorites with not really even a home field advantage. But you know, we'll see what I feel like I know what Corey and Alex's picks are, but I don't know about Nick and Chris. But who wants to start off here?
Well, since you know what I'm going with,
Yeah, I feel like I do. You have a ticket. You have a pretty ticket you're sitting on too.
I do, and I actually just hedged a little bit. So
Yeah.
as long as the Bengals don't win the Super Bowl, I'm gonna come away with a couple $100. So that's
Nice.
And if the Bengals win, well, then you just witnessed an incredible.
exactly like I wouldn't be upset, right? Like
Yeah.
that'd be insane. But yeah, Niners have, towards the end of the season, definitely was on that train. And when they made it in the playoffs, I've been riding them. And like you said, took that ticket, and we'll see how far it takes me. But I mean, at this point, like going into Lambeau, snow game, freezing temperatures, and taking out the back-to-back MVP and potentially ending his career. I don't think he's going to retire, but
It's
never know
possible,
with
yeah.
that. You never know with that guy.
I think Brady's more likely to retire.
I think Brady's definitely retiring.
Love it.
Sure you do.
Well, actually, no. I would actually love to see him play, and then that's just another year I get
The
to.
Saints. Put them in that black and gold.
Oh my god!
Can you imagine
I'd be
forcing
absolutely
PB to root
furious.
for Tom Brady?
I wouldn't. I would have to
Be a
root
gift
like
from God.
I don't know how I could.
That'd
You
be
wouldn't root
stage
for the
1 of hell
Saints?
for PB.
I'd be rooting for just like our defense to go nuts every game and him to just still have. Basically, I would root for him to have similar performances to like Trevor Simeon and us still winning like we were. That's what I'd be rooting for.
All right, that's enough Saints talk for this entire
Yeah.
podcast.
No more
For a
Saints.
team that didn't make the playoffs. 49ers plus 3.5. I'm gonna ride that train until they make me get off. They're so much fun to watch, and the bully ball that they play with those three guys that I guess are a little bit banged up now, but it's just so much fun to watch. So yeah, lock it in.
Who's up
Mhm.
next?
Yeah, I mean, I'm
What was that?
I'm a little perplexed here, but
I think Nick just had a stroke thinking about this one.
I'm with you, Alex. I think I got to watch Odell all year, and that guy drops more than Bitcoin. So fading Odell here. I think Cooper Kupp probably has a good game, but it's not going to be enough. I like
Speaking of,
Debo a
just
lot.
real
I think
quick,
he's kind of like become one of the best playmakers in the NFL this year. He's like
Insane.
just playing on another level, which is just incredibly fun to watch. And I want to see him for 2 more games. So yeah, give me the Niners. Take some points too. Feeling all nice and good about that. So
Hey, see, I think I'm going the completely other direction as both of you guys. After watching that 49ers game, I don't know how they won that game. Jimmy G didn't look great. He had like maybe 75 passing yards by the end of the first half, possibly. Their offense didn't do anything. I mean, literally their special teams won them that game, and then the field goal at the end. And then watching the Rams against the Bucks, I mean, the Rams jumped out to a real early, strong lead. For whatever reason, they wanted the Bucks to make it a close game, so they let them back into the game. But I was impressed with the Rams against the Bucks. And like I said, I honestly don't know how Green Bay did not get it done against the 49ers because their offense didn't do anything. So I'm actually fading the Niners here. I'm thinking the Rams are definitely going to win this game, and I'm also going to take them at -3.5 as well. So
yeah, I don't know. Like the Buccaneers were so like injured and just like came to such a terrible end of the season. I feel like they almost got to this game like the same reason the Bengals did, just like easier matchup. So I don't know, going into Lambeau and winning, that the momentum train is going to be hard to stop there.
I mean, that game was just, what was it, 7-0 most of the game, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
there wasn't a
Scored
lot
on the-
going.
yeah.
And they didn't get a first down until like into maybe the second quarter.
Yeah, it was tough to
Niners.
watch. It was like
Yeah.
throwing the Golf Channel on a Tuesday. You just like it's terrible.
Yeah.
No, I
it
don't
was-
know. Just after watching that game, I lost a lot of faith in the Niners. I know, Alex, you've been rolling with them all year, but I just don't see against PB. I think Stafford's a great quarterback. I think he's a good leader, and I think he's going to be able to get it done. He's been hot lately too. So
Yeah,
gonna
I'm with
stick
you there.
him,
All right.
Cooper Kupp. Like I said, I just don't think the offense of the 49ers. Is gonna
But did you
keep
not?
them in
You
this game.
understand they still beat the Rams twice this year. So
I totally am not arguing that fact because it's a
Okay.
fact and you can't argue it. But I just think the way the Rams have looked, I think their offense is going to put up enough numbers to the point where I don't think the 49ers offense is going to be able to keep up based on what I've seen in the past couple games.
That's
Corey-
fair. Stafford's
Corey,
hot.
I know we're the last on
So
opposite
hot right
sides
now.
here. Do you just want to go with your Rams and just get it over with, or do you want me to go?
No, I'll go because then when you start talking, because inevitably you'll probably interrupt me to throw in your 2 cents. So then I want.
So then let me go. If you think I'm gonna interrupt
His
you.
mics are hot.
They can't
Well,
even.
no,
yeah.
it's just
They're
it's
fighting
just
about
like-
who's gonna go. Come on.
No, it's
Just
no. I'm
go
gonna
then.
go here. Jimmy G, 11 for 19, 131, 1 interception. Mitchell, 17 carries, 53 yards. Debo, 10 carries, 39 yards. George Kittle,
Oh.
4 receptions, 63 yards.
Oh.
13
There's
points
your X
scored.
factor for this Rams game, by the way.
Okay, well, I'm going to let you know that the Green Bay Packers defense, yes, it was a top 5 defense. What were they worst about? They were the worst at giving up yards per carry. They're one of the worst teams in the NFL this entire year. What happened to this bully ball that we've been looking for, or that's the 49ers have been doing all year? Like, what?
Good that they're
what
playing in a
changed?
dome.
What?
They're playing in a dome this week.
But I'm talking about from, okay, yes, the momentum that they won.
They beat the Cowboys. They had a great game that game.
Okay, but they're not like putting up these
Probably two of the
back-to-back-
hardest road wins.
Yeah,
honestly.
out of
playing
any
in
other playoff
Dallas
team.
and Green Bay. I'm like, my gosh! And then the week before that, they beat the Rams to make the playoffs. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you say Matthew Stafford is not a good quarterback. I mean, he seems like
he's a quarterback that can beat up on bad teams, and he does that all the time. And then he rarely will have good games against good teams, and the majority of times when he plays good teams in clutch spots, he fails. It's just that's what's happened over the course of his career. It's just the math is the math, and that's how it is. That's just how it
all
is.
that math was him playing in Detroit. So
Okay,
I'm
but
saying,
he had on his good Detroit teams, he still choked. So
Alex, is there a mute button for someone?
just go,
For me?
continue.
I can't. You're not letting me.
He's been muted.
Thank you. Okay.
You guys have been watching way too much. Pardon the interruption.
He's been
Insane.
muted.
I can't. I
Throw the
start
mute
talking
button.
and then he jumps in on me. Matthew Stafford, 28, 38, 366, and 2 touchdowns last week. That first touchdown he threw to Cooper Kupp was pure magic. He
Nice toss.
completely bamboozled the Tampa Bay defense, and everyone was saying like, "Oh no, it's blown coverage." It was not blown coverage. He made that play happen. He's a good quarterback. He can read defenses. And the 49ers have a terrible secondary. They cannot guard anyone. Devontae Adams was running routes. And Devontae Adams and Cooper Kupp I would say Devontae Adams is better, but like Cooper Kupp is still a great receiver.
How many yards did Devontae have?
Devontae finished last week with, let's see here. He went 9 for 90, but they stopped going to him. Aaron Jones went 9 for 129.
Yeah, he had a couple of giant screen passes.
Yeah. So if like that is playing into effect, like I think the play calling McVay here is as long as he doesn't get out of his mind and start running, like getting away from what is working.
Getting
'cause
cute
sometimes,
with
like,
it.
yeah, him and Andy Reid do the same thing where it's like,
Yeah.
stop like
They
doing what
wanna-
you're doing.
They
Blake
want to
Bell-
show off. They want to
Blake
show
Bell
off
running
a
a
little bit.
tight end
Yeah.
quarterback option. What are you doing? Like, don't do that. So I think it's going to be a close game, but in the end, I think Matthew Stafford deserves what he get. Like, arguably, he gets what he deserves. Sorry, and they win this game, and he gets a chance in the Super Bowl against the Chiefs. And I think this is a good spot. I mean, granted, the 49ers have been playing extremely well. I'll give them that, but there's only so much momentum that you can ride. I mean, it's hard to do what they're doing, and all credit towards them. But I just like the Rams better. I like their secondary. I think they have the defense in place to be
So
able
what
to
about
stop
the
them.
spread? I know you think they'll win, but can they cover?
Yeah. Yeah, I think they covered with my lock of the week.
Oh yeah. So did anyone else miss their lock of the week already?
This was my lock. of the
Mine
week
would
as well.
be the Rams too.
Yours was the Rams, 49ers, and Nick.
Those hometown Bengals, baby. Who dey?
You sound like a drunk sailor.
I was gonna say, he's definitely
Boy, I'm holding.
That was
him.
my Cincinnati accent.
Oh, nice.
Early.
So
So
let's hear
Close
it,
to
Pete.
Kentucky, so
I-
I had
and-
to
and
spice
he-
it up.
You sound like a drunk hick.
Maybe I'll let
That's
you go,
Cincinnati.
and I'll be nice, and I
Okay.
won't.
Whoa.
interrupt after you're done.
I'll
Easy
say-
with the
I'll-
Cincy shots.
Nick's having
Jeez,
some
ricochet.
skyline too.
Oh
They
my
got some
God.
Skyline tonight.
Oh, I would love Skyline.
Oh,
Let's
Where
let's
like
be honest,
all
we
of
love
my
Cincinnati
family
for the
comes from,
Skyline.
bro. Chill.
Yeah. Well, they got Skyline. They gave an amazing gift to the world.
So I think Corey, you said it right the first time. He deserves what he gets, and that is a loss because that's what's coming for him here. This will be my lock of the week as well. So it looks like we got two on opposite side, two of us complete opposite sides. So we know at least two of us will hit our lock of the week. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say. Shanahan has absolutely owned McVay. They can't beat the McVay can't beat this team. The 49ers are like, I just feel like they match up extremely well with the Rams because the 49ers have a great offensive line, and part of the way that the Rams, beat teams like we saw against Brady, like when they're able to just get pressure and just break through, and Donald can break through, they have a lot of success. But that teams can't really do that against the Niners. I know Jimmy G has been banged up, but I think you're just going to see them really rely on the run game, which has worked. And I think Kittle is going to get pretty heavily involved in this game.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of understand why you're on that side. I think you have a bunch of Trey Lance Rookie of the Year tickets open, right? From before the year started.
Before the year started, I had a couple. Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But I would, if
Those are
Trey
some good
Lance
ones.
came in, I would absolutely love to see that. That would be incredible.
It's your one shot. If Trey Lance has a breakout game and wins a Super Bowl, I think you got to give him Rookie of the Year, right?
Aaron Donald
No, still-
sacks Jimmy G first play of the game, snaps his collarbone in half.
You
Trey
still
Lance.
got to give
Crazier
it
things have happened.
to Jamar Chase, but
Mhm.
yeah, it's just this is my lock. I don't think there's any teasers in this game just because I don't think the 49ers, I don't think it'll get down to 2.5. So you won't, and the Bengals, I don't think we get to 7.5. Otherwise, I'd tease the Chiefs and the Niners, but I just don't think you'll get those numbers. But yeah, this is a week I'll probably be a little, when it gets to the conference championships and the Super Bowl, I always spend a little bit more than I probably should and do parlays and things like that, which I normally don't do. So I'll probably have a little Chiefs 49ers money line parlay here same with the two spreads, Chiefs spread plus the Niners spread. So
I did.
that's where my bets will be.
Yeah, I took a teaser on the two road pups just to bump those up a little bit.
You could also,
and
sorry, keep going.
one of the fun tickets I took was is plus 600 any game to end on a game-winning field goal. I mean, after last week,
It's a nice
not?
bet.
Little
Plus
piece of-
600
yeah,
either game.
either game to end in a game-winning field goal.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
if you
nice.
expect
Little pizza money.
If a team does it, I think it would be in the 49ers Rams game.
Agreed.
But you
you
might
could-
get you
what
might
app
be able to
did
get
you get
better
that
odds
on?
if you just bet that game specifically.
FanDuel.
I was saying you could tease down the totals. I think there'll be high scoring games.
I would tease maybe the Chiefs Bengals, but I could see that Rams 49ers being low scoring.
Hmm.
Like
I
I
like
would
it.
actually
Great one.
tease that up to like 52.5 and get the under.
But I mean, yeah, you could do that too. I'm just saying, like either
That's
way,
just-
if you want,
The
whatever way. you want
49ers
to
are
take
just a
it.
team, like they love to run the ball so much that they like we've seen those 49ers drives that are like 10 minutes long, just one quarter, just eat up a whole quarter. Like the 49ers love to do that.
No, I understand.
Yeah.
But when
You
it comes
actually
down
kind
to
of
clutch,
are. Oh, go ahead, Corey.
when it comes down to clutch situations, you saw exactly what Stafford can do.
Yeah, I mean, you hit gold every once in a while, but that's just sometimes it's just fool's gold. So
Okay. What
Did you see
fortune
Cooper Cup
cookie did
after
you
the
just-
game?
what?
Did you
What
hear
fortune
Cooper?
cookie did you just pull that out of?
I can make my own shit up, Corey.
Well, you already got the Buddha belly, so that must be where all the wisdom's coming from.
Cooper
My
Cup
favorite
after
bet
the
this
game.
week
Go
is
ahead, Nick. Go ahead.
I just
My
need to
favorite
actually I
bet-
need to look at Nick's picks because he's been the fade god, and I need to just okay. So
Alex, what were you saying?
I was saying Cooper Cup after the game, they interviewed him and he was like, I think they were in cover 0. I have no idea what
Yeah.
they were doing. Like, just didn't make any sense.
Yeah, he torched him.
I
And
mean that
actually,
Bucks secondary is so bad. Like
they had all their starters though in that game.
Yeah, but they're bad. They're bad.
Brady's walking away for a reason, and he's like, "Yeah, that defense is not winning me shit."
Telling you, Belichick is always
He need-
getting rid
Brady
of a guy
needs just
1
the
year too late,
Absolute best
and
running
1 year
catches
too
on him.
early.
My favorite bet this week, besides
All right, I need
the
everyone write this down.
money lines, is George Kittle plus 1100 first TD
Damn it.
scorer.
Oh, okay, first touchdown score. So that's
Yeah.
something that could not happen.
Plus 1100, pretty good.
That's good
I'll
odds.
take it.
That's good odds on
I
that.
thought you were about to say like take his over, and I was like, well, George Kittle, the Rams are probably gonna win now. But luckily you didn't say that.
Yeah.
Well,
So you should probably take like Cooper Cup or something.
Yeah. Well,
you want a guy?
I don't. Are there any prop bets open? If just at first glance, I don't think
I-
so.
I'd probably assume not, since it's still fairly.
Some-
There's
No,
a bunch of
sometimes with these
like
last
game
games, they do.
specials on FanDuel.
No, they do. So Burrow and Mahomes passing yards are about the same, around 286, 287. Which Mahomes, I love, kind of like that over at 287 and a half. I think he throws for over 300. You can get, let's see here.
My favorite one out of that was Travis Kelce or Jamar Chase to have over 125 receiving yards plus 200.
I feel like Chase is more likely to do that than Kelsey. But
Yeah, I feel like Kelsey's like always such a go-to guy in these huge games. So
yeah,
he could just
Jamar
really,
Chase's receiving prop, 83 and a half yards. That's one of his highest of the year. T. Higgins is 70 and a half, and Tyler Boyd's is 40. So yeah, they expect.
you could take all three of those for over 50 yards and it's plus 330. That's one of those specials.
All right. Tyreek Hill and Kelsey, 76 and a half and 73 and a half. I would suggest taking both of those overs because I think one of them is very likely to go over that. And so you either like kind of break even or you could hit both of them.
What's the over under on Pringle? I saw him a ton last
36 and a half, but
Kind of like that one.
He's kind of like he'll catch it like for like four like
Slant-
one game he'll have like
slant
4 or
routes.
5 catches,
Yeah.
and then there'll be games where he has like
2 for 17 and a touchdown or something.
You also see him on punt returns and kick returns a lot. So like, which don't count towards that, obviously. Might
Yeah.
inflate the.
Unless you get some all-purpose yard bets. Those are
But
hard
he's
to
also a
find.
guy who could get that in literally one catch.
Yeah,
If you
he's
look
got
at
the speed to do it.
If you
for
look
sure.
at team totals, the Bengals team total is 23 and a half. The Chiefs is 30 and a half. So like, let's say you maybe really like a team to put up points, but you don't necessarily think they cover or something. You could always take the team you like and take their team total. I'm actually curious to see what the Rams 49ers team totals are, because I might like the 49ers.
I actually
you
like
think-
the under in that game.
Do we
The
think Cam Akers
49ers
has lost
team
his spot?
total is 20 and a half. Take the over on that. That's less than 3 touchdowns. I would take the over. That's probably my favorite like prop, like team prop I've seen, like 20 and a half points.
No, well, I mean, they
It's pretty low.
put up like 13 points.
Yeah, I don't
Obviously,
care. That's
and-
a small sample size. I'm talking, that's a very low number for a team there. I think 20 and a half points.
Do we think Cam Akers lost his starting spot?
I don't know. That one's really interesting to me.
Because if he
I don't
did,
want to touch it.
Sony Michelle's rushing yards to have, I'm not saying he's going to have, but if I'm saying like rushing totals, like for the Sunday, most rushing yards by any player, Sony Michelle's sitting at plus 1,600. I understand like he doesn't really, if the issue is Cam Akers and if McVay has lost, I mean,
I
after
don't-
fumbling on the goal line and then fumbling in the fourth quarter, do you lose your spot? I mean,
I
Probably.
don't think he's going to go away from him, if I'm being honest, unless he fumbles again in this game. I could, like, if he
yeah.
botches one early or something, I could see him going away. But
Oh yeah, that's when I think if he botches a fumble early,
Yeah.
I think you'd see a lot of Michelle.
he's so good, though. He's so good. Like,
Yeah, but man, that those two
Never
fumbles
know.
like really messed
Turnovers
it
are
up.
huge in these games.
But he messed it up on the goal line, and then he did it, and like
In
they
fourth
literally
quarter.
were running out the clock,
Yeah.
yeah,
like
bad.
bad situations, and so that you can see. Then the other one I like is actually, even though I like the 49ers, Brandon Ayuk's 47 and a half. I like that under. I just, with Jimmy G banged up so much, they just don't throw the ball as much, and Ayuk's A dot is a lot farther down the field, and we've seen him not throw the ball nearly as much. We saw that in the Packers game, and I think we're going to really rely on the run. So I actually like Brandon.
That was
Ayuk.
also like a snowy Lambeau game. Like, of course they're not chucking.
Yeah,
deep
this is a
balls left
dome,
and
but
right.
with Jimmy G being banged up, like he just, even against Dallas, Ayuk didn't, I don't think had some like game 47.5. I think is just a little too high for Ayuk.
Do you already talk about most receiving yards on Sunday for receiver? Because Cooper Cup is sitting at plus 210. And then Tyreek Hill is at plus 600
For most receiving yards, just
for most receiving
yeah.
yards.
I think, I mean, that's
Jamar Chase is plus 430. So, I mean, either
I have a Tyreek at the took it in the
I
beginning.
mean,
of
if you
the
bet all
playoffs.
three
I
of
have-
those, you could win money still.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah.
Why don't you just take all three and you're,
Well, 'cause
you're
then you
going
have, like,
positive?
a Kelsey or someone that could beat you,
Yeah,
but
you
I
could.
do think it would be one of Tyreek, Cooper Cup, or Jamar Chase. I'm sitting on a plus 800 Tyreek Hill ticket at the beginning of the playoffs to have the most receiving yards throughout the entire playoffs, including the Super Bowl. And right now it's between kind of him, Kelsey, and Cooper Cup. So I had like a 15 to win like 130 or something. So we'll see how that one goes.
All right.
But yeah, I think that's about it. Does anyone have any final thoughts? We didn't do our DFS show last week. I don't know, things got busy, but we will do one this week to cover the 2-game slate. Does anyone have any last thoughts?
Go Bengals.
Go
Let's go
Niners.
Browns.
Everyone's
What about
yeah.
you, Hype Boy? What do you got?
Oh, nothing. Just go Niners, and that whatever happens at AFC game is whatever.
So you're a Niners fan now that you're not a Saints fan? Just to
No,
confirm.
I want to see the Rams lose is what I want to see. I'm not a Niners
He
fan
just
at all.
wants to
He's looking for the next bandwagon, folks. Who's he going to pick?
I had the Niners losing to the Cowboys.
Signing off.
All right.
All right.
See ya.
Well, adios. See you tomorrow for the DFS show.